Thank you for purchasing your new Magnum sprayer. Your new sprayer is built by Graco, the leading manufacturer of airless spray equipment. Your new Magnum sprayer is more than just a paint sprayer. It's really a paint application system, a system that allows you not only to spray, but use a pressure roller as well. We are confident that you'll find your Magnum unit easy to use, easy to clean, and easy to maintain. If you haven't had a chance to look over your new Magnum, don't worry. That's really the purpose of this video. Together, we'll go through the basic components of Magnum sprayers, how to set up your new sprayer and get you ready for painting. Of course, after you're done painting, you'll want to know how to safely shut down and clean your sprayer, and if you have the time, we've added a special section on basic troubleshooting that will help you resolve any difficulties you might experience. Also, it's important to note that before you start spraying, you should read over all safety warnings and instructions. Speaking of reading instructions, inside the cover of the operator's Quick Guide is a checklist of tools and accessories you'll need. The Quick Guide can be found inside the operations kit that came with your new Magnum sprayer. Apart from wrenches, a strainer bag, drop cloths, and so forth, you'll always want to be sure that you're painting in a well-ventilated area. But it's also recommended that you purchase a respirator and safety glasses as well. Don't forget your paint and a waste pail. If you're using water-based materials, you'll need a garden hose and the power flush attachment, and you'll need storage fluid, such as Magnum Pump Armor. Pump Armor ensures that your new Magnum unit is properly protected and stored. Now, let's take a look at the basic components of Magnum sprayers. No matter which Magnum sprayer you have purchased, whether it's the DX, XR5, XR7, or the XR9, the basic components are very similar. You'll need to know where the power switch is located. Another important component of the sprayer is the spray prime valve. Turn the valve horizontally for the spray position and vertically for the prime position. Priming fills the sprayer with paint or other materials, either for painting or storage, and is required for proper operation. The spray prime valve also is used to relieve pressure in the system. The pressure control knob allows you to control the spraying pressure and has 4 icons to help you determine the desired pressure setting. The first icon is the pressure roller icon. This setting is for using the Magnum pressure roller. The second icon is the cleaning and priming icon. Use this setting for priming and cleaning your sprayer. The third icon is the low pressure spray icon. This setting is used for spraying at a lower pressure when using lighter materials like stains and lacquers. While the fourth icon, the high pressure spray icon, is for spraying at the highest pressure for heavy materials like latex or acrylic paint. The suction tube, the larger of the two tubes, draws the material or paint into the system, while the smaller prime tube or drain tube is used for draining material or waste from the system. The inlet screen is located at the bottom of the suction tube and prevents objects such as twigs, leaves, or rocks from being sucked into the system and damaging your sprayer. The power flush attachment is an easy way to clean the sprayer system if you're using water-based paint, and can also be used to help prime your Magnum unit. Each Magnum XR sprayer comes with an InstaClean filter. This filter keeps you spraying longer by reducing spray tip clogs, and the filter is automatically clean when the prime valve is used to relieve pressure. Your Magnum sprayer comes complete with an airless spray gun and hose. The particular gun that you own depends upon which Magnum sprayer you've purchased. However, all 3 SG guns come with a tip and tip guard, a removable gun filter for easy cleaning after each use, and a gun trigger safety. Assembling your new sprayer couldn't be easier. It's practically assembled right out of the box. The first step is to connect the hose to the sprayer at the fluid outlet. Now connect the gun to the other end of the hose to the spray gun. If the hose is already connected, make sure the connections are tight. Uncoil the hose and let it lay flat. It is natural for the hose to recoil a bit. Go ahead and unscrew the spray tip guard and assembly from the spray gun. Be sure the power switch is off, and also make sure that the pressure control knob is turned all the way left. This is the off position or minimum pressure setting. Now go ahead and plug the unit into a grounded wall outlet. Well, that's it for assembly. Because your sprayer is brand new, You'll want to flush out the storage fluid using the power flush attachment. Be sure to put on your safety glasses before getting started. Then turn the spray prime valve to prime. Next, separate the prime tube from the suction tube and place the prime tube into a waste pail. Take the power flush attachment and screw the attachment to your garden hose and close the power flush valve. Go ahead and turn on the water to the hose. Unscrew the inlet screen from the suction tube. Screw the power flush attachment and garden hose onto the suction tube. Once you've got the power flush attachment in the open position and the water flowing, turn the power switch on and turn the pressure control knob to the right to the cleaning icon. Because Magnum sprayers feature a demand delivery system, which means the pump only pumps when needed, when you first turn on your sprayer, you won't hear a thing until the pressure is turned up to a point that demands delivery. Water flowing out of the prime tube indicates that the pump is primed with water, but let the pump run for about 30 seconds or so just to be sure that the storage fluid is completely cleaned out. Once the storage fluid is cleaned out, turn the power switch off and turn off the water supply to the unit. If you're using a solvent-based material such as a lacquer or stain, then you will have to purge the water from the unit's system. Please see the operating instructions. However, if you're using a water-based material such as latex paint, then you're ready to load the unit with paint. Simply close the power flush valve and disconnect the power flush attachment and hose and screw the inlet screen back onto the suction tube. If you haven't done so already, stir the paint to make sure that it's fully mixed. Also, it's a good idea to strain your paint using a strainer bag to rid the paint of any unwanted sediments that might affect the finish and clog the spray tip. Submerge the suction tube into the paint pail with the prime tube placed into a waste pail. Turn the power switch on. The pressure control knob should still be set on the cleaning icon. This is also the setting for priming. Thus, the sprayer's motor should begin to run. When paint comes out of the prime tube, release the trigger safety on the gun and squeeze the trigger. Keep the trigger squeezed while turning the spray prime valve to the spray position. Be sure to squeeze the trigger during this step. This will ensure that pressure doesn't build up in the hose and create a splashback hazard. Again, please refer to all safety instructions and the warning sheet prior to operating your sprayer. Continue squeezing the gun trigger to pump the water out of the hose until you see paint coming out of the gun. At this point, go ahead and release the trigger and turn the gun safety on so that the trigger cannot be accidentally squeezed. The sprayer system and hose and gun are now loaded with paint, and you can now clip the prime tube back onto the suction tube. Now it's time to install the tip and tip guard. Before installing the tip and guard, double check the safety on the gun. Screw the tip and guard assembly onto the gun and lightly tighten the retaining nut with a wrench. Be sure that the arrow-shaped handle of the spray tip is pointing forward and that it is seated completely into the housing. The arrow-shaped handle of the spray tip points forward when in the spray position and can be turned backward for unclogging the spray tip. This is why the Magnum tips are called reversible spray tips. Magnum tips can also be used to spray either horizontally or vertically depending upon their position in the housing and your preference. When done, tighten the retaining nut with a wrench. It's important to note that for your safety, you never want to squeeze the gun trigger when the spray tip is between the spray and unclogged positions. The tip should be secure in the guard housing. Also, never put your hand in front of the tip and never point the spray gun at yourself or anyone else. High-pressure fluid can pierce the skin and cause a very serious injury. If this happens, seek immediate medical attention. Always engage the trigger safety when you're not spraying. When you're done painting, the job isn't quite finished.